Alright, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Two Tides Brewing Company, and they're out of Savannah, Georgia, and this is their Acid House Volume 6. So they're calling this one a sour ale with grapefruit, pineapple, pink guava, mango, and cup-to-cup coffee. It comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Wes, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Wes sent my way. And he sent me 5 different Two Tides beers. The first one was a hop forward beer that I already reviewed. It was a double IPA, really unique and tasty. And then he sent me 3 sours and a big imperial pastry stout. So this is the first sour that I'm checking out. And the reason I'm checking this one out first is because it's a coffee fruited sour. Now, I've mentioned recently on the channel that I find it kind of crazy that more breweries don't release fruited coffee sours. I feel like it kind of makes sense now I'm thinking about it. I mean, a lot of folks eat fruit with their breakfast and they drink coffee. So whether it's a grapefruit or pineapple or pink guava or mango, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Although I will say that when it comes to fruited coffee sours or coffee fruited sours, I feel like berries and cherries make more sense. So I'm really curious to see how this one is. Anyway, this is apparently a series, the Acid House. I think they're up to like volume 7, and they do different fruit blends with different, I think, coffee beans. So I think it's pretty cool. And Cup to Cup Coffee's Cup to Cup Cafe, which is a local coffee roaster in Savannah, Georgia. So anyway, I think this is heavily fruited. At least that's what the pictures look like on Untappd and Instagram. So that's what I'm going with here. We will see. I don't think I've had a heavily fruited coffee sour, maybe one. So I'll be curious to see. Yeah, that's definitely a heavily fruited coffee sour. This is gonna be interesting. I'm kind of nervous, but also excited. Now I kept this one upside down in my fridge, but it still seems like most of the goodies were at the bottom here. And you know, I pretty much grabbed the beers, and within less than 5 minutes I'm reviewing them, so everything had time to settle, I guess, again. So yeah, that's definitely heavily fruited, has all the pectin and puree and whatnot inside. This kind of looks like, I don't know when you're going to see the reviews, but I did a Slushy Double XL Hydron of the Sea 450 North and Mortalis collab. This beer kind of looks like that, maybe a bit darker, but very similar. Has like this dark orange, almost blood orange like kind of look to it. Had a half finger of like an off-white spritzy, you know, soap sudsy looking head, now dissipated to a thin film, leaves the pectin, very murky and turby, can't see through it, plays the role of one of these heavily fruited sours. I'm just curious to how this is going to smell with the coffee. It smells different. Lots of grapefruit, lots of mango, and then there's this like medium coffee roast kind of aroma. It's not like too pungent, but it's definitely noticeable. So to me, it smells like, you know, I have a cup of coffee next to like a ruby red grapefruit and like a mango that's already been, you know, like the ruby red grapefruit's cut in half and the mango's already been sliced and it's just like in front of you. Maybe like a fruit bowl with those 2 fruits in it. Not really getting the pineapple, and the pink guava is getting kind of lost a little bit, although starting to come through a little bit. It doesn't smell crazy sweet, which is nice with a lot of these. That's the, I have to say it in every review when it comes to these heavily fruited sours, whether they're smoothie or whatever they call them. The issue I always have with these going into them, are they going to be too sweet? Is there going to be enough of a tartness or sourness to kind of break up the monotony of all the sweetness? A lot of times no, sometimes yes. This smells with the coffee like it's not going to be crazy sweet. Also, those 3 fruits, I feel like the grapefruit and the guava aren't, you know, crazy fruit or crazy sweet or anything. The mango could be. Pineapple, yeah. There's not much more to say about this. Kind of smells like breakfast in a glass. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Thanks again to Wes. Cheers. That's nice. It's different, but I like it. Oh, hang on. Big puckering sourness as I swallowed it. Back of the jaw. Definitely hit. Body's lower side of full body, so it has a thickness to it, and it's almost like you're drinking kind of like a juice with pulp in it. So it's not like crazy smoothie like, but it is definitely thick, especially for a 7% beer. The mouthfeel, decent carbonation. but it's smooth, it's creamy, and maybe it's a little softer. So this is like mild to moderately carbonated. So I like the body, really like the mouthfeel. The taste, here's the thing, it's not sickly sweet. There's actually a pretty big dryness, almost full-on dry character to this one. First thing that hits me up front, tons of sweet mango and pineapple. And I wasn't getting the pineapple in the nose. In the taste though, it's mango and pineapple. It's like I took a, again, there's a fruit bowl, I took a piece of each and threw it in my mouth. Passes through the grapefruit and guava kind of mix and gives this really nice like tartness you would get from the fruits as opposed to the base sour. And what it does is cut down the sweetness from the first two fruits, introduces those, and then about 2/3 of the way through the palate, the coffee sneaks in. And the coffee has this, again, medium roasted kind of coffee feel to it. And what that does is not only does it continue to break up the sweetness and stop the sweetness, it adds its own like slight acidity in conjunction with the base beer and probably the fruits. So this is moderately acidic, and it's full on, I would say this is a low sourness. So the beauty about this to me is it's not too sweet. There's an underlying like almost like doughy kind of malt base. It gives me pastry-esque vibes, but doesn't quite get there because the sweetness isn't there. I really dig this one. I still think, in my own mind, it's a personal preference, and I didn't look at the other volumes to see what other kind of fruits they've mixed with these, different beans they pick. But I would say that, like, just hearing those fruits and then seeing them and then drinking this, I still don't think the fruits are the best options for fruits to pair with the coffee. But it's still working. It's just not like fantastic. It's just really, really tasty. Just not amazing. I can't taste the 7%. On the finish again, it has almost no bitterness, but this is full on dry with a moderate acidity, I would say. I do feel like maybe I'm going to get heartburn later, but we'll see. This is fun. This is the best way I can explain this in one simplistic word is this beer is fun. It's a fun beer. It's a fun exercise in seeing the limits of these heavily fruited sours. These aren't really, they don't taste like beers, okay? Although they are still beers, they don't taste like it, and I understand that, and I think a lot of people who drink this understand that it's not like real beer. I mean, the base is, but like once you start adding the fruit puree and different adjuncts and stuff, it kind of loses its soul, so to speak. So it's no longer a beer. It's just, if you said this is a tasty fruit beverage, I would agree with you. But I've said this before, I don't really care if, a lot of people back in the day used to argue the whole, is this beer, is this not beer? I think as long as you're enjoying the beverage, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's beer. I don't care if it's a mixed cocktail. I don't care, whatever. I'm enjoying this. And it's different. It's unique. It's something outside the box. And it's hard to do with these beers. I said the same thing, the slushy double XL Hydro of the Sea variant. I was getting like a bubblegum character out of that. It was just, it kind of had like a, because it used limoncello in it, had kind of like a, the Italian, the lemon liqueur that is limoncello. It had that on the finish. And it was something I never tasted in a heavily fruited sour. So this is the same thing. It's like a coffee, it's a coffee sour, but like there's fruit here, and my mind's like, what the hell's going on? But then like, oh, you eat all these things at breakfast with your cup of coffee. It's like, it makes sense, but it doesn't. I don't know. I'm starting to go, this is derailing real quick. We're going right off the tracks. The best way for me to sum this up is it's a tasty, enjoyable, unique beverage that I'm glad Wes sent my way, because this is fun. I would like to try more in this series. Like, I would like to try again something if they paired it with berries or cherries or something maybe even outside the box. So Acid House Volume 6 from Two Tides. I have absolutely no issues whatsoever at giving this one we'll go straight 4.25 out of 5. That's where this one lands for me. Solid 4.25. I would give it higher if I just think maybe the fruits worked a little better. I don't know. I don't think they work as well as the other fruits would. And I really like the simplistic logo here. It makes me feel like I'm down in like Miami or something, chilling in the middle of summer, Pretty cool. Price point availability, I think Wes said $20 4 packs or $5 a can. That's a lot cheaper for these heavily fruited sours than you see here in New York or California or any really big city. So that's pretty cool. And availability is Two Tides. I'm pretty sure they get distro throughout Georgia. They get, I think, a little bit outside the state as well. We don't see them here in the Buffalo, New York area. So again, huge thanks to Wes for this one. I look forward. I have, again, 2 more sour ales and a big imperial pastry stout that is like a, I think it's a mint chocolate cheesecake imperial pastry stout, which sounds fantastic. So we'll see when I get to those, but got to this one and I'm happy I did. So huge thanks to Wes. Thanks to everybody out there who stops by the channel and supports the channel, watches the reviews. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you had this one before, anything from Two Tides, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Here's the thing. If you've had anything from Two Tides within their Acid House series that is in Volume 6, I would love to hear the other, your thoughts about any of the other volumes that you may have had, because again, I think I'd like to try more within the series. It's just cool, different. It's cool. They call it their house heavily fruited coffee series, and like that, you don't hear that ever. So thanks to Wes, thanks to everybody. Till the next one. Cheers.